Hi there, it's Jo here from Creative Empowerment. Welcome, thank you for joining me today. We are here with a new pick a card. This pick a card is about where am I being asked to grow. So this is part 2 of the series that we started in the last pick a card. So that was all about change, where's change showing up in your life. And this second one is about where is the growth happening. So where are you being asked to grow? So I have 4 piles down here, as with all pick a cards. If you're new to them, I'll give you a quick rundown. You will have a look at the 4 piles and see which pile is drawing you. And then when you know which pile is yours, you can jump ahead in the description box below. There'll be timestamps. If you like to pick with crystals, I'll put some crystals on there now. Pile number 1, we have the blue apatite. That's kind of a really deep blue. Pile number 2, we have dragonstone. Pile 3, we have nummite. And pile 4, we have another piece of apatite in a really sort of turquoisey blue colour. You can pause the video if you like to help you make your selection. I've actually made a video about how to choose the right pick a card for you, which is linked in the description box below. But if you're ready, jump ahead to your reading and I'll see you in your personal reading. Hi pile 1, if you picked the apatite, this is your reading. I feel like you have retreated. So this is talking about retreating to nature. We've got see the other person's point of view in the reverse. And then you have 2 animals that are really, really low to the ground. You have mouse, which is really close to the ground, and you have lizard again. So they're both really touching the ground. You've retreated from the situation because the energy around the situation feels really harsh to you. With the lizard here, you must be a really, really sensitive person. With mouse again, mouse is very sensitive to vibrations around it. So both of these cards are really sensitive in nature. Being a sensitive soul, you may find aggression or you may find conflict to be really, really hard to deal with. And this could be in any area of your life that is not showing up in any particular area at this point. It could be your personal relationship. It could be with a boss, at work with a co-worker, at school or with friends. This all could be somebody who's hurt your feelings and you don't know how to move forward. And this is talking about seeing the other person's point of view, but it's in the reverse. So I feel like this is about knowing that your point of view is really important, that you feel like you're in the dark when it comes to this situation, or you may feel like people around you are taking the other person's side. And it's really it's depleting you because, like I said, you are very, very sensitive. So let's have a look at what else we have here. So yeah, exactly. This is the energies that I've just been talking about. We have the King of Cups, so in the reverse. So this is a male who, or it could be a female, but has these qualities, who is showing up as someone who can normally contain their emotions, but at this time they have not. They have allowed their emotions to get the better of them, and it is, it's like just come out like a tornado or overflowing, and it's like a torrential rain almost is what I want to say. This person, whatever they're talking about, feels like they're bringing up the past. They're bringing up something from the past and they're wanting to relive it with you. And it's all emotional. It's all this, he said, she said, and that dredging stuff up from the past. That's what I feel like this is about. This is really significant to you. It is really a big heartache. You are not enjoying this process. Now, this can be really extreme for some of you, and for others of you, this is a slight. What I mean by that is that you'll move on, but you are all feeling the hurt of it, no matter which level of the scale this is at. And you are retreating. You are retreating into yourself. The mouse, I really feel like you're going within, but not in a good way. You're not going within saying that, I'm going within to find answers. You're going within to hide. That's how I feel, pile number 1. Now, so this is the situation that you're dealing with, and how can you grow from this? What is it that you need to learn, and then how can you grow? I feel like you're being asked to grow up, and I don't mean grow up in the sense of you're being irrational or immature or any of those things. What I mean is that you're being asked to stand up. You're being asked to grow and develop so that you can actually come at these sort of situations in a different way. So we have the Ace of Swords, and it's in the reverse here. If it was upright, it would be you taking decisive action. And in the reverse situation, I feel like you're going to be pushed into taking action, where you probably would have let things go. I feel like that you're going to be pushed here so that you will take some action. You would prefer to see things, see people in a better light. But the other thing that the Sun here is showing me is that you would probably rather turn the other cheek and not get into this. But I feel like you need to. I feel like that there is a need for growth here, and the growth is that you actually have to take action at some time. You may be very sensitive. You may not like conflict. I particularly don't like conflict. The Chariot here is warning you about being reckless in your actions. So when it's not something that you feel comfortable in, sometimes we go from being meek and mild to being too far over, and I know this because I do it. And when you do that, then you end up apologizing because you took too much action and the action wasn't balanced or warranted, or their action didn't meet this, whatever it is, it's not balanced. So the Chariot here is warning you of going too far. And then the next card here is the Two of Wands, which for me is a big card of balance. This is balancing out. But it's also a card of letting people be who they want to be. So when I see this card, I look at it and I feel that both cards are growing, or both wands are growing in the way they want to. And sometimes it can look like they're not growing together, or they're not growing, they're not coming towards each other. But that's not always necessary. What is necessary and what is really important about this card is for us to grow on our own path. And that's why this is showing two different people, and they're both standing upright, and it means they're not meeting each other in the middle. They're not, they're not like the lovers. They're not in an embrace. This card here is showing you growth on your own level and their growth. And part of that might be you standing up to them. It doesn't mean you have to meet them in the middle. It might mean that you take into consideration more of what's happening for you, so that you can be in your own power, so you can be passionate and supportive of your own needs and not other people's. Because this subversion of your energy and this meek mildness, often that's because we don't feel like we're having our own needs met. So when you start meeting your own needs, that's when you don't need that other person to come to you and fill you up. You can stand in your own rights because you're filling yourselves up, and that allows for more personal growth. The Three of Cups here is showing you that this has the potential to change your relationships. And we're going from a 2 to a 3, and it's emotional. So it's going to be emotionally fulfilling for you to work on yourself, to not see this as retribution and to wanting to attack somebody else. This is you not seeing their point of view. This is you not going into whatever this is with them if you don't want to. This is you picking and choosing your battles. This is you fighting for the things you need to fight for and when you want to fight. This is similar to one of the other piles. So you may have chosen two, you may not. But it's also not about turning the other cheek all the time. It's also, you've got two cards sitting next to each other. The Sun, which is, not always, but in this circumstance, this is not wanting to look. And the other one is riding roughshod over everybody. So it's finding a balance, which is this card, finding a balance between those things. And when you do, it's going to be emotionally fulfilling for you. The other thing is that this will actually benefit you in many, many ways. So the thing about this pile number 1 is that when you learn a bit more balance when it comes to this, this will affect all of your relationships, not just the one that's showing up today in Where Do You Grow. So when we have a relationship that is really hard for us to work with, and I have plenty of these, so don't worry, you're not alone. These ones are the big ones. These are the big ones that, when we get not on top of them, but when we learn what it is that where we're being asked to grow, then this is when we move forward. This is when we have success. And this card to me is talking about that success, but emotional success. So it's going to feel really good. and it's going to translate to a lot of your other relationships and your personal belief in who you are, your personal belief in who you are in a relationship. So it's a big deal for you. Now I'm going to bring in, so I've only done this with one other group too. So if you have chosen two, it'd be interesting to know if it's the same one for you. Actually, you're going to get two. So these are like mantras. These are from the I Can Do It cards. Louise Hay, they're really old. I choose healthy stimulation. During breaks at work, I speak positively with others and listen with compassion. I handle authority with ease and I am always respected in return. That's really interesting because this position here as the king, it is a position of authority. So this could be, and I did say earlier, that could be about work situation. So that is your mantra. I know that when I do my best at my job, I will be rewarded in all sorts of ways. I create a good feeling at work. I realize there are laws that govern the universe, and I work with these laws in every area of my life. So that's really interesting. You know, both about work, which I did mention, but it won't be appropriate for everybody. And like that card said, I create a good feeling, and I've left the at work out. I realize there are laws that govern the universe, and I work with these laws in all areas of my life. So pile one, this is a part of a 3-part series. If you've missed the first one, it is all about where you're being asked to change in your life. Then there's this one, which is where you're being asked to grow in your life. The third one, which I haven't made yet, is about rebirth, about death and rebirth. You know, what is ending and what is beginning in your life. So today you've got a big growth happening around your relationships, and one relationship in particular that is a big teacher in your life. Thank you for watching today, and as always, please like, share and subscribe. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so that you're notified when the videos get loaded up. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you in the future. Bye for now. Hi pile 2, if you chose the Dragon Stone, then this is your reading today. Let's have a look at your cards. So we have a lot of oranges and yellows coming in here for you. So I feel like we're really talking about your solar plexus and your self-esteem, your self-worth, your belief in who you are. So it feels like we're going to have a big transformation and a big change here. Around who you believe you are and how you've portrayed yourself in life so far and how you're going to move forward in life. So pile 2, we're really looking at a self-transformation here. So we have White Tara in the reverse with purification. And this here, to me, it feels like you've been pushing a lot of emotional stuff down. You've really been not showing people how you're feeling. So you've actually allowed the majority of people in your life to not see how it is that you've been feeling about things. You've actually just pushed everything under the water, and people may have noticed that you didn't look quite right, but you didn't show yourself. You didn't actually go, this is how I'm feeling. This is what I want to tell you. It's all been hidden. It's all been under the surface. Then we have Horus, which is you are seeing this situation accurately. And again, we've got a lot of water energy here. So again, the moon is here talking about emotional stuff, talking about, so the moon illuminates the things that are hidden. The moon shows us parts of ourselves that we actually don't want the rest of the world to see. So again, I feel like there is a tide that's turning here. So the change for you is that you can't keep this stuff down anymore. So your self-esteem, your self-worth is suffering because you're pushing down this emotional stuff that's going on. And Horus is here actually lifting the self out of the water. Like it's a pretty cool picture here. Horus is lifting up this eye of all-seeing eye. You know, it's like you can't not see this, and all these heads are all turned to the past. So this could be a set in stone way that you have done life up until this point. And your guides want you to know there is a big change in store about how you do things, because this way of doing things, subverting how you feel so that you're making others feel better, is not helping you, is not serving you in any way, shape or form. Dragonstone's about transformation. And you know, if you think about a dragon, it roars, that fire comes out of the mouth, and it's not afraid to show how it feels. Hawk is about getting up and over the situations, having a better look about it. But like I said, there's this oranges and yellows and reds here, and this is all about living from a passionate view. You know, like Hawk knows what it wants and it goes and gets it. It doesn't hide from people, and the same with Cheetah. Cheetah is fast, thinks on its feet, and is able to get what it wants. It doesn't change its spots for anyone. It doesn't change the stripes to suit someone else. It knows what it wants, and it believes in itself, and it believes in its ability to get what it wants. Cheetah is a great animal spirit for you. They're quite transformational. There is a big change around transformation happening for you, but it's in one area, and that is that self-esteem, self-confidence, self-worth. And Firefly, which I absolutely love this coming in at the end of these cards for you. This is all about growth. This is about personal growth, and it is about lighting the fire within. This is about knowing that you may only be this tiny small thing or being, but you pack a punch. You are able to light up the darkness. And when you're being your true self, when you're honoring your self-worth, when you're allowing people to see who you are, you light up the darkness. A lot of fire energy here, a lot of air energy also. Fire and air. So this is really combustible. Again, we've got the dragon, this air, fire. Mixing air with fire, you make a big impact, a big fiery situation. So let's have a look at your tarot cards. And we have wands. So we have all fire energy, more fire energy. You are sitting and on this fire energy. You're trying to put it out with this, emotional side of yourself, but you're sitting on top of all this fire. It can't be put out by this emotional, the way you're trying to dull down your emotions. I feel like you're ready to fight. Pile 2. You're ready to be this dragon. You're ready to allow this fire energy to come out. Being asked to grow, being called to allow this fieriness to surface, to rise, to come up. Stop, feeling like you're always on the defensive. You don't need to be on the defensive. You need to know who you are and feel comfortable in your body. There may be times when you're called to fight, or called to fight for things you want or you need, or that, are important to you. But this here is about people also working towards a common goal and being passionate all about a common goal. So your passion can actually contribute to working towards something. And that can be within your family, within your home life, your work life, your friendship group, whatever it is. It could be at school if you're, doing education. But it can be contributive. Fire energy is great energy. I know I used to be kind of scared of fire energy because I didn't want to acknowledge how fiery I am. And now I want to own it. I want it to be part of me. You feel like you've been backed up against this wall a lot, and you feel like you have you've just been fending people off because you're too frightened to open up. You're too frightened to let people see what's inside you. Pile 2. All this fire that you have within you. This fire energy that you have within you, it's fantastic. It's amazing. And last card for you, love it. It's going to take you places. So at the new moon, at the dark moon, it might be a really good time to set some intentions for yourself. Pile 2. About allowing your fire energy, like a really, really big part of who you are to come up. You might want to ask your guides, your animal guides, whoever you trust, to help you open up to this fire energy in a safe way that you can feel safe. But you're hesitant to step out onto this new way of being, which I understand. But the Fool can be about being naive, and I don't feel like you're naive in this circumstance. I feel like you're really honest. You're a really honest person who integrity is really, really important to them. Loyalty, trustworthiness, all those things. And this subverting of who you are, I think, has been playing a really big toll on you. So you are not naive in the way you think about things, or you think that you're probably listening to me thinking, I'm not naive enough to just allow this all to come up and everything's going to be fine. It's not about that. It's about slowly and gradually opening up to this fire element within you and allowing yourself to be comfortable with it. And that's the naivety of the Fool, stepping out into something new, but also knowing that they've learnt a lot in the past and that they're going to take that knowledge with them. We're starting something new. On the earth plane, you're showing this. You're showing this to, friends, family, institutions that you're in, whether that be work or school or social groups, whatever. This is you. It's like you're playing with it. You're stepping out into it. The pages are all about, they don't have heaps of experience doing something, but they allow themselves, because they're excited about it, they want to move forward with it. So this is you, wanting to move forward. The Five of Swords here, it's in the reverse. So this can talk about conflicts when it's in this upright position. What I feel like it's talking to you about, pile 2, is just being really careful. And I don't want to suppress your energy with this fire energy even more. But what I want you to say is, when it comes to communication, because this is a lot of fire here. So when it comes to communication, choose your words carefully. Practice releasing the tension around your throat chakra by singing or talking to yourself. And I don't mean having a conversation with someone, a planned conversation, but I do mean, there might be times when you just might want to verbally release and get stuff out and practice some of the ways you might talk when you're being assertive, when you're being in your power, when you're thinking about yourself first. That's what this is. This isn't about being on top of other people. This isn't about subverting others like you feel like you might have been subverted or not listened to. This fire energy, this dragon stone, this is about being commanding in this position. This is about knowing what you want to say and saying it. What is coming in for you is a massive, a new way of being in the world. An Ace of Pentacles is you succeeding on the earth plane. This is you bringing this new thing that you're working on. These 2 new cards. So this is all about you, starting off on this journey. And this is about you bringing it to a fruition, bringing it into the real world and doing it well. This is, and it's on the earth plane. So this is the earth. You've brought it down. So fire and earth are up here and they are away and they're uncontrollable. Fire on the earth plane can be put out by earth and water. It's not as fire as an element that feels too strong in our bodies. It can be managed. It can be not controlled, but you don't want to think about fire as being controlled, but you want to think about fire as being manageable. You can have it down here on the earth plane where it can do the things that you need it to do, where it can support you, where it can allow you to be who you want it to be. This is a great reading for you. This is a 3-part series. The first one was about change. This has been about where you're being asked to grow, and you're being asked to grow in a big, big way. The third one is going to be about rebirth, renewal, death and rebirth. So please join me again for that one. Make sure you hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so that you'll know when the videos are loaded. Thanks for being with me here today. Please like, share and subscribe as always. Bye for now. If you chose the blue Nummite and pile 3, this is your reading today. So let's get your cards out and have a look at what we've got. Okay, so we're going with all of your cards straight up. or ones that I've pulled already. I'll pull some more as we're going along. So pile 3, I feel like you have a big secret, or you have had a big secret that has really, really significantly affected your life. And I don't want to downplay it, but I also don't want to make it into something. It is what it is for you, and you know what I'm talking about. We have open your heart to love, Jesus, and it's in the reverse. All of your cards are in the reverse. So I feel like I'm dealing with a pile here that is dealing with a lot of pain. This is a past life healer, this particular stone. I feel like you've been working through or with a past life trauma, and there's been quite some trauma in this life, and it's related to a father, husband, brother, son, a male, a significant male in your life who could be an ex-partner, and it could also be that this person, you're very estranged from them and you have really closed yourself down to another relationship of this type, and also to a lot more of that, you know, a lot of that kind of male energy as well. I feel like the raccoon here is really talking about your hiding of secrets and things like that. Your heart is blocked or closed down due to whatever this trauma has been. The stingray is talking here about sort of staying in that lower vibration and keeping yourself there in when it's related to this father, husband, brother, son, or male relationship. This relationship has been so very traumatic for you in your lifetime. These are things that you already know, that your guides are just showing these things up for confirmation for you. And it's kind of like, we're going to get this stuff out of the way. And when I say out of the way, what I mean is we'll work through that part. And I just keep getting shown the red rose. The red rose to me is a sign of peace and a sign of making amends. So pile 3, we want to look at, so where are you being asked to grow around this relationship or these relationships, because it could actually be affecting all of your male relationships in your life, whether you're a female or a male. You have been putting in a lot of hard work when it comes to this relationship. It has felt like you were never ever going to see the results of your labor, of your, like, it feels like some of you might have been trying to forgive this person. Some of you might have been trying to move on, trying to heal from this relationship. Feels like you don't feel like you can see the wood from the trees. It feels like, you know, you never going to release this karmic energy that you're working with. But what I'm showing you here is the Judgment card. The Judgment card is it's time. This is when our souls come up to, this is not literal, what I'm going to say, but this is the kind of energy that you're, you know, where the change is coming in for you. This is where our souls get, you know, it's like that, if you think about it, like in accounting, and gosh, I am so not a numbers person, but that's how I'm getting told to talk to you about it. You know, like it's the day of reckoning. It's the day of tallying up all the things, you know, adding them all up. Did this person, not whether they did good or bad, because that's not what this is about. Did this person make the right decisions? Did this person do what was in their best interest and the best interest of others? We are not the ones who judge other people's lives. We become our own judge. So we don't cast judgment on ourselves, but we decide if we made the right choice, weighing up all the checks and balances, because a decision is not made on its own. A decision is made with other circumstances and other people, and this has a big effect on all these things that come into that. But this is a time here for the checks and balances. They're being reckoned. So that's what this card is talking to me about. It is also a 20, so it is a double 10. So you are finalizing, you are finishing, and not just in one way, but in more than one way. So this is a double. You are doubly finishing something, finishing out something, finishing the karma that you have been playing out up until now. The Tower here is also showing us that these male relationships in your life have not been built on steady foundations or sturdy foundations, and they are crumbling, and this energy, so this past life energy, is crumbling, and that may feel like it's all encompassing. This may have already been, you know, traumatic, torturous, like you can fill in the words. But at the moment, you may feel like everything you know is falling apart because the Tower is coming in with the Judgment card. Like Pile 3, you were going through a massive change in frequency, in karmic balance in your life. The Tower card and the Judgment card together, this is like so hard hitting. This is, I'm almost speechless in how significant this change that you're going through is. Because whatever is showing up on the surface, which is probably to other people, it might look like you have a closed heart to some male in your life or more than one. It may feel like to others that you look extremely wounded. What your guides and my guides want you to know is who cares what other people think of you. It is you who has to live your life. It is you who has to walk in this world. This is a massive shift in your life. You are undergoing a momentous shift when it comes to male-female relationships. Actually, it's more about male relationships. The Emperor is coming in here, and the Emperor is the divine masculine. So the Emperor here is the divine counterpart of the Empress, is fertility and bounty and birth and all of those sorts of things. And the Emperor is more about structure, but he's also he's about power. But he is with power with the right checks and balances, power in its form where it's checked because with something else, because it's in balance. It is not out of balance, which is how you have seen male relationships for most of your life. But this is dramatically changing in your life. So I wanted a sign for you. I wanted a sign so that you could move forward, knowing that this is coming into your life, that male relationships are coming into your life that are going to be more balanced. And it's not because you deserve it, because you always did. This is a karmic lesson, so it's different, very, very different. What's coming in for you now, let me swap those over so you can see them the right way around, is the Fool in the reverse, and then a card of planning, and they're both in the reverse. And so you had a lot of cards in the reverse in the beginning, then you had all cards in the upright position. The Fool is coming in to show that you aren't going to be as naive as you were before, that you've learnt a lot of lessons. You're no longer that naive fool who can step off a cliff, but you're going to allow your innocence, your naivety to be within you again. You're going to allow those things to surface when you choose. You may see a little sign of a little dog, and so this could come in the form of like a toto, like at the heels of someone, because the Fool is shown here with the little dog, and the little dog is a sign of loyalty. So a sign for you going forward is this sign of this loyalty of a little dog. And I don't see this as being a big dog. This may show up for some of you in different sizes, but for most of you it's going to show up as a companion. So that's why we're going to have this small sort of area here. The other thing that you may see moving forward, so the Three of Wands is a card of planning and not seeing what not necessarily seeing what you're putting out into the world for some time. And I feel like that's flipping for you, that's changing. But the thing that I'm being shown in this card is that you're going to be able to see the wood for the trees. I don't know if I used that expression earlier, but it's like, the raccoon is talking about all the secrets and lies that you've been hidden, you've been hiding yourself. And it's like, there's going to be more clarity come in, but you're going to see through things. You're going to have a clear vision where you may notice clouds or cloud formations. It's going to come in differently for all of you, depending on how this shows up for you. But you are going to see clearly. That's the message that I'm getting here. So these are some signs coming in for you, pile number 3. My voice is getting all croaky, which is a sign of your shift that you're going through, this growth that you're going through. And These cards are really old, but I feel like we really need one for you today. And it says, I love and accept my family exactly as they are right now. I am ready to be healed and I am willing to forgive. All is well. These are Louise Hay I Can Do It cards, and they're very, very gentle, and they work with affirmations to help you heal. I am ready to be healed. I am willing to forgive. All is well. That's a big statement for you, and I know that. I love and accept my family exactly as they are right now. Big messages for you. A big shift is happening in your life around male relationships. You're going to be able to put things in the past. Doesn't mean that they won't come up for you, at times. But you'll actually be able to make more headway than you have in the past, because you're closing out these cycles, these karmic cycles, these past life things you're working with. You're closing them out, pile 3. This is part of a larger reading. If you've missed the part 1 is all about change. You might like to watch that. This one is all about growth, where you're being asked to grow, and you're being asked to grow in a big way here, pile 3. And the third and final video in this series will be about birth and rebirth. Where are you renewing in your life? Thanks for watching today. Thanks for joining me. Please like, share and subscribe to my channel for more readings like this. Hope to see you in the future. Bye for now. If you picked pile number 4, this is your reading with the blue apatite. Apatite is a really great crystal for connecting, with your higher self and spiritual guidance, things like that. So your first card is take charge of the situation, and it's Moses in the reverse. Then we have El Moira, clear and shield your energy. Maitreya, power of joy. We then have a lot of blue in this second row. We have peacock spirit, we have dragonfly, and we have swan. So there's this very powerful communication energy around you. Perhaps it could be spiritual energy for some of you. You could be, wanting to communicate with on a deeper spiritual level. So when we have Moses take charge of this situation and it's in the reverse, I feel like something is getting the better of you. Something feels like it's overcoming you, and you feel like you're on, being pummeled by something. And this will be different. This will be different for many of you. So whatever this overwhelming situation is, this is what we're talking about for you. So it's time to take charge of this situation. So you're being called to change, because at the moment you're allowing things to get on top of you. And I know that when I say that, I don't mean that you're doing that on purpose, or, it's not hard, whatever you're going through at this point of time. But you're getting a lot of higher dimensional frequencies coming in for you, and they want you to call on them for help. They want you to ask for help with this situation, and that is how you'll take charge of it. So it doesn't necessarily mean that you need to force yourself through and push through whatever this is. It is that you need to take charge by asking for help, by asking for your guides to come in, by asking for clear communication. There is a strong energy of communication here with your group pile 4. El Moira is asking you to clear and shield your energy. So because of whatever this overwhelming thing is, you're being asked to be more aware, to show up in a different way. You're being asked to take a sort of more spiritual high road, but you're also being asked to ask for lots and lots of assistance so that you can do that. Clear and shield your energy by El Moira could be many, many things. It could simply be taking time out for yourself in your home. It could be, salt baths, meditation, practices like yoga, sound bath or sound bowl healing, all of those sorts of things. But there is this communication around you. So that is that perhaps you're feeling overwhelmed by spiritual communication, and there is definitely that message here for some of you, not all of you. But I'm feeling quite tight in my body. It's like I don't feel like I can breathe. So I feel like my energy feels like it's going 100 miles an hour. And now that I'm sort of slowing myself down and I've taken a breath, things feel a little bit different for me. But I'm also feeling really, really like my head's spinning, and I'm really noticing Moses's robes here. They're very purple. So I feel like your crown chakra is potentially opening up for you. Perhaps it's being cleansed. There's another element here of it being cleansed of some debris, or perhaps it's hasn't been as open as it needed to be for you to hear more clearly. I'm going to come back to Maitreya, but I'm going to come down to Peacock. Peacock is about you owning, who you are and stepping into that reality, I suppose, is the message that I'm getting here. It has many eyes on, surrounding it, and also I feel like protecting. The Peacock energy feels quite protective in the sense that so my body's becoming really hot. So I'm feeling like you're feeling hot under the collar. You feel like you have a lot of eyes on you, is what I feel like Peacock is talking to us about. Peacock is knowing who you are. Peacock is a great animal spirit to bring in here. You may feel like you're overwhelmed by this situation, but you really need to remember who you are. And I'm doing a nice big burp after that, because it's time for you to take charge, but to remember who you are. Not to take charge in this really scattered way where you feel like you're doing the right thing, or you feel like you're doing the thing that other people are telling you to do. This is remembering who you are. And who you are is this divine spiritual being. And it is time for you to take control of this situation, take charge of this situation when you're in your power. Okay, so this is you in your power. And we are looking at quite a transformation. So we have Dragonfly, and Dragonfly is it's such a lightness of frequency, it's a lightness of being, able to get up and out of a situation, have a really good look around, and almost able to hover, without any movement. But it's such a lightness of being. And I don't normally talk about that when I see this card, but for you, pile 4, there's this lightness and your energy and your frequency. So it's sitting under clear and shield your energy. So there's this transformation happening for you at the moment in your frequency, in your energetic frequency. You're being asked to lighten up in a big, big way. The power of joy, Maitreya. Now, you may have been bogged down, like I said. So the change for you here is seeing that whatever thing this is that's going on in your life that feels so overwhelming, there's a message here to enjoy it. Now, that I know you probably want to throw things at me through the screen, but you're coming into your power. So there's so much red here. And this is you understanding the world on a material plane. This is you being in joy and being in harmony even when the crap or the shit hits the fan. This is you being that higher self, Buddha, sitting on a cloud, laughing at whatever's playing out in front of you, because you know that it is happening on the 3D level, and that it will pass, that I'm not trying to make light of anyone else's stuff that they're going through, not at all. But this card is about spiritual involvement and moving into that higher plane. This is you seeing yourself as this really powerful, important being. We have Swan, and Swan is all about loving yourself. So you've got 2 cards that are really about owning your own power. You've got more cards that are, it's all about owning your own power. This is why you need to take charge of this situation. You may not have been taking control of this situation, but you felt disempowered, and pile 4, it's time to change that. This is looking yourself in the mirror and seeing yourself through the eyes of love. Not bullshitting yourself, not saying I love myself and every aspect of myself if that is not true for you. This is being really honest with yourself, but it's also knowing that your shadow side shows up for a reason. The crap in your life shows up for a reason, because it's teaching us. It's this balance and this to and fro. You're being shown your own underbelly at times, and this could have been when you were in this situation and you felt totally out of control. It's time for you to change in this aspect of your life, because it's not who you are. And yes, situations can get out of control and we may feel powerless and helpless at times, but we move through those situations. That is not who you are. This is what's showing up at a world level, and this is what's showing up underneath. This is your soul's growth that you're going through here. This is all about you standing up and using your voice. This is you changing from being a meek, mild mouse to being a roaring lion. That's how I'm sort of seeing this. But it's you asking for help at the same time. So we're going to bring in some some tarot cards. Now I'm feeling really ungrounded as I bring these tarot cards in. We have the Four of Wands in the reverse, and we have the Three of Coins in the reverse, or the Three of Pentacles. Now, this overwhelming situation that you are in or have been in, and where you need to communicate more clearly, more strongly in your power, could be with your partner, could be with a work partner, it could be any kind of partnership. But this one is one of those ones where you are being asked to grow. And so there could be a soul connection here, very strongly so. And you might feel that you are sparring with this person, that that there is only this way to go about this stuff, this take charge of this situation. You may only see one way, and that is to come at them directly head on, which at the moment, that's from your perspective, without going up and over in a lightness of being, without knowing who you are. That's where you're coming at this energy, and this is where you're being asked to change. You're being asked to grow. You're being asked to put down that passion where you just want to butt heads because you think that's the way forward. The Three of Pentacles often talks about collaborative energy, and at this time I feel like you need to put yourself first. So it can mean many things, this card, but for me at the moment, for you, it is putting yourself first in relationships, in partnerships, in groups. And that doesn't mean doing everything at all costs, putting yourself first. It's considering the situation. It is considering, well, if I do that, how does it make me feel? If I do that, am I putting myself at a disadvantage? If I do that, is that from that highest part of myself? Is that me being in my highest version of who I am? And if it's not, then the decision is not for you, or that thing is not for you. But when it comes to this relationship, you want to see a different way of moving forward. You want to change the way you come at this relationship. When we are overwhelmed, we often can't see the wood for the trees. That wants to go that way before I turn it up. And we can often feel hurt. Interesting that the card that I've got turned over is, the Five of Wands, which can talk about conflict. And I feel that you're feeling there is a lot of conflict happening in a partnership, and it feels like, your main romantic sort of partnership. But for some of you, it may not be. It may be some other relationship. It could be a sibling. It could be a boss. There is a lot of conflict here, and your first way to want to react is by butting heads, by coming at them as they are coming at you. And this is not who you are when you're in your power element, when these animal spirits are working with you. This is not who you are. The Page of Wands here is talking about finding a new way that you can be passionate about. And he's blindfolded in this deck. So he's also talking about how you may not feel like you know how to move forward. By being in your power and not choosing to be passionate and move straight ahead and sort of create conflict, I suppose is one way of thinking about it. When you're overwhelmed, it doesn't mean you then have to charge at people, which is what I feel like you may have been doing. This card here is the way forward, and this line here is the way forward. This is the Two of Cups. So this is a really great relationship card. So we've got a lot of relationship cards here, but this is all about internal growth. So this is you being asked to communicate strongly and clearly in your power. It doesn't mean that it's all your way. It doesn't mean there's no compromise. It doesn't mean that you either have too strong a boundaries or you have no boundaries. This is finding that balance in between this. So these cards, a lot of the cards that I have for you here, we've got the Four of Wands, we've got the Two of Cups, and we've got the Two of Wands, which I'm going to come to in a minute, which is the way forward. This here is about balance. So when the relationship is in balance, this is what we're seeing. This is not you when you are, if you are someone who struggles with your boundaries or struggles with communicating to your loved one. It is not you asserting yourself and firing at them. This is you holding your own when you need to. And this is you finding a balance in this relationship. Now, there's another message from Spirit coming in here about how to move forward with that. and that is the Two of Wands. And I love this card because when we look at the Two of Wands in other decks, can be about travel, can be about planning. But what I liked when I see this card, it talks about growing in your own way. It talks about not bending to suit the other person's needs. It talks about being really strong in who you are and allowing them the same. It allows both of you to be in your power, in your strength. So that's how you move forward. That's your relationship will get better when you are in your own power, which is what all of these other cards here were talking about. The change in your life is you being in your own power, but not so that you overcome relationships or other people in your life, but so you know your own boundaries. You know when it feels good for you, that you go with it. And you know when it doesn't, you say, no thanks, that's not for me. And it's in such an easy, gentle way, which is this dragonfly energy coming in this higher, finer frequency. So instead of being combative and going at someone, this is who you are. This is this finer frequency. And you are at home within yourself and a relationship. Third part of this series is about endings and beginnings, renewal, rebirth, birth, all that sort of stuff. Please join me again. Make sure you like, share and subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell so that you know when my videos get put up each week. Thank you for joining me today. See you soon. Bye for now.